Hi everyone, and today I'm going to talk about my second match from this long play tournament ongoing now. The matchup that I played against the player named Ledjent. He's the member of the Brothers in Arms clan, very strong tournament player, and yeah, quite famous. So for this map, I was calling the map. For this match, I was calling the map and the faction first, and I decided to pick the Wood Elves. I don't normally play them a lot, but I was really inspired by the Ninja Hun's Kite Army, and I really wanted to try it. I didn't really try it a lot, and I chose the excavation side as the map. This is a huge map that allows you a lot of cheeky deployment. So let's see what I brought. So according to the rules of this tournament, you cannot bring more than 4 units of the same kind. So I brought the Deepwood Scouts. And then I would really like to bring more, since this is supposed to be a kite army. So I'd love to bring 6, but I could only bring 4. So I have 4 units of Deepwood Scouts like this. Then I really wanted to bring more skirmishers, so I brought 2 flying calves. So I have 2 Hawk Riders. Then also I have a flying Glady and a flying Spellsinger of Shadows to give this extra speed boost. And the main idea is just to group up the enemy and use the Pit of Shades. So she has Pit of Shades and she has the Enfeebling Foe. In case his lord decides to, go in melee, we'll just, this gives a huge debuff, like minus 36, I think, to everything. 30 and defense, yes, defense and attack. And as a mobile cover, I have 1 unit of Wild Riders on my right, then 2 units of Wild Riders on my left, and I have 1 cheekily deployed unit of Wild Riders in the back. This map is awesome. Like, their deployment box ends right here, so it allows you to deploy right. This is a very nasty deployment that, of course, they're very hard to expect. So anyway, all my opponent sees is my archers, and my calf, and now my archers are becoming visible. And I think he was expecting a more conventional elf army, so he brought 4 flagellants, one of them the Tether Souls. Then he has Sigmar's Sons, unbreakable ones, and then in terms of skirmishers, he has 2 units of crossbowmen and 1 silver bullets. And then what's bad for me, like, the worst thing that you can see when you have a kiting army is the light wizard and the decent calf component. So he has 2 units of Reichsguard. He has 1 unit of Demigryph Knights with halberds, the anti-large ones. He has a flying lord, and of course he has the mage light wizard with a net. Only a net on him. So if he can catch my archers, I'll be done for. Like, of course, this is about 2,500. Each of them is 700, right? So 7 times 4, oh, it's almost 3,000 of resources right there, just standing. Alright, and yeah, so let's go to the game. And I start cutting. This is a very short game, so I start shooting at his... first, I wanted to just disable his crossbowman so that I have an advantage. And then he sees this and starts to jump on me with his calf. And I think this was a big mistake. Like... from my experience, when I play the kiting army, it's just better to sit, suck it up, and get all the fire. He has the Hammer of Witches that can do great damage to the archers, but he becomes a little bit cocky and starts attacking. Maybe he thought that he's a heavy armored calf and anti-large Demigryph Knights will do huge damage to my Wild Riders, but it was not the case. And mind you, these guys, the Hawk Riders, they always also have a very nice armor-piercing melee weapon strength in melee. So I just put my archers back and swarm here with my calf. And my Spellsinger is here, right there. Oh, you can see my lord is taking huge damage from the Hammer of Witches. Yeah. So and now my calf is right jumping on his calf from behind. And then I surround his Demigryph Knights as well, who take the charge, and I cast the Enfeebling Foe on them. So look at this. Their melee attack and defense are 0, so they have just a minimum 10% chance of hitting. And of course, his calf is jumping on my skirmishers, but they are very heavily damaged already, and my lord swoops in. Actually, here was a really bad call. Like right before the game, I switched my groups to auto lock, So my lord was in the same group with my flying Hawk Riders, and they were grouped, hard grouped, right, with the locked group. So when I actually ulted all of them to go in melee and fight the race guard because they'll just destroy them, but they refused fighting because they were hard grouped. And that was a big, like, I figured it out in the course of the game. That was a really dumb decision on me. Like, I could have just destroyed them in a matter of seconds. And look at these Demigryph Knights. They're just going down to these deers. Like, how is that even possible? And I really don't want them to run away. But he casts the net on me as well. So he gets my Spellsinger and he gets both of my Wild Riders. A good use of a net, I guess, but he doesn't really have much to shoot in. And you can see my guys, yeah, I forgot to show, I just charged his Hammer of the Witches with my, reinforcement regiment of Wild Riders in the back. Look, 31 kills, I completely destroyed the Hammer of Witches, then I jumped on his Silver Bullets, and I guess he was just microing so heavily here that he completely missed this charge. A really lucky, opportunistic charge, it worked out perfectly for me. And I still have this unit which is untouched, the Wild Riders, but his lord is getting into my units. Oh, you can see it looks like the net didn't work. My Spellsinger is still flying. Yeah, I was like just ordering those guys, go in melee, go in melee, go in melee, and like they were just refusing, and like all because I hard grouped them. That was really stupid, dumb move by me. But anyway, I figured that out, and soon I just jumped his lord because, well, this was pretty obvious, just ignoring my orders like that. Yeah, and now my last remaining Wild Rider unit just jumps on the back of his Reichsguard, who are slower, and they unfortunately managed to oh look, yeah, he didn't get the charge off, so he didn't want to get charged in the back. Probably he should have. And he sends the Flagellants on my deers and catches my Wild Riders. And because I'm trying to nuke his General of the Empire with everything I have, I cast Prey of Anathema, I miss micro some of those guys, so they get unnecessary damage on, unfortunately. And you can see he's trying to return his crew on the cannon. And anyway, look at his lord getting all this damage. Finally, now I figured out that why my units are not going in melee, and I put, the Hawk Riders on him. And yeah, I can just debuff him all day, and look at this damage. So his lord is done for. Right, I cast the Enfeebling 4 again, and I wanted to chase, but this was getting very hairy because all his, skirmishers are here, and the Silver Bullets, I don't know what they were doing, but they could just like destroy my Hawk Riders in a couple salvos. So again, he just like put the Flagellants on my Wild Riders, and completely, again, I just missed micro. I pull back, he runs after me. This was a bad part of me. Now I pull back. And I just have to regroup, right? Like, I almost routed his lord, but these units will never run, right? They're not going anywhere, so I'll have to deal with them. First, of course, I have to kill his calf. Then I'll have the mobility advantage. Then I have to kill his lord, right? The only fast unit left. And then, of course, look at this nice grouping. So I really wanted to nuke him. And he comes here, and what comes next is the beautiful Pit of Shades. Yep, look at that damage. Look at the damage, baby. I had to sack, of course, one group of Wild Riders, but, well, they paid their dues. Right? And then I saw that the Hammer of the Witches was coming back online, and I really don't want that. So I put my Wild Riders on it. He tries to stop me with his lord, but I just pull through. And of course, I also have to kill the Silver Bullets, so I just decided to sacrifice my other Wild Riders and kill his Silver Bullets. Because after this, I can just jump on his Crossbowman, like he'll have nothing to stop me, right? His only potent unit now is his Lord. And by now, I totally figured this hard grouping thing, and look at the burst damage that his Lord takes. And yeah, my Hawk Riders will just, pounce on him all day, and I didn't want a Reichsguard to go on me, so I just catch them with Prey of Anathema, and I'll just destroy them shortly with another group of Hawk Riders. What's going on? Stop. I didn't see that during the game. Why are they running? Okay. Anyway, and of course now I miss micro here, so he catches my Deep Scouts. They have high speed, higher speed than the Flagellants, but I don't know why they're getting caught. Anyway, so Flagellants you have to kill, right? They will not run away, so I'll just have to kite and kill them and stop them with the calf. This was the original purpose of this army. And then I routed his lord, I routed his Reiksguard, I routed his Hammer of Witches, and the rest of his army completely routes now. And by now, of course, I knew that I'll win this one. So I can just kite all day. I have flying units with lots of ammo left, still 13, 14 shots. I'll just nuke his, Tether Souls. I'll run loops around the Flagellants, and I have the Flying Lord, which will do a lot of burst damage on the land, and my opponent concedes here. Kudos for him. So that was my first time really when I used this super kitey army, and these guys look like they got caught a lot. So I think I misplayed many things, but probably my opponent misplayed just a little bit more. It's not like the best player won. Probably the player who lost just made more mistakes. And anyway, this Peter Shades was nice. Killed about 50 of those Flagellants. Not that many, but yeah, could have been better if they were heavily armored, but still good damage. And then of course these guys didn't do a ton of damage, but they killed lots of cavalry. And look at these Wild Riders. Nice. I believe one of them was the guy that jumped the Hammer of Witches from the back. Over 100 kills, always great, something that you want to see. Overall, not that, maybe not that impressive in terms of damage for me, but I think it's a very disappointing sight for the Empire. Like, his Hammer of Witches, granted it was pounding my Lord, but look at my Lord. Yeah, so I just healed up, so it didn't really end up doing that much damage. Probably better would have been just targeting my skirmishers or maybe my flying Hawk Riders. Demigryph Knights, have you guys seen how they were just destroyed by the Wild Riders? And even this anti-large calf can be destroyed if it, by a fairly mediocre calf if it gets debuffed like it did by the Shadow Sorcerer. And then, Reiksguard, for that money, they didn't really perform. Silver Bullets, again, a unit for 850, I believe, just 17 kills, not that great. Of course, nothing too spectacular here. The Spearmen did get to skewer some of the deers, but after all, the deers destroy the Hammer of Witches and a very expensive unit of Silver Bullets. And yeah, of course, his general of the Empire got his ass whooped. And yeah, this is how I took the first game, and I went to the second one. And I'm gonna talk about this in my next video. Thanks, bye, and see you next time.